Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Derrick Schommer, and today I am making a cocktail utilizing a new product that I recently got in my store at awesomedrinks.com called B'lure. Now, there's actually 3 different products. These are created by a company known as Wild Hibiscus Flower Company. And they also have hibiscus flower and a rose hibiscus flower. So they're basically flower extracts in a little bottle with a little dropper, and you can do cool stuff with them, and they're really bright blue. What we're going to do with them today is just a little bit different. What I did is I took the cocktail that when people ask me, what is your favorite cocktail in the complete universe? If the universe was like ever expanding and you needed a cocktail the whole time, what would it be? It would be probably a whiskey sour. So what I decided to do is do a bourbon sour, but I wanted to use B'lure, and I know that one of the key ingredients to B'lure is the butterfly pea, and we've used it in the show when I invented the four Island iced tea. It was a butterfly pea tea. This is a butterfly pea extract, which means it starts out blue, but with a little bit of citrus, it kind of gets magical. We're going to do this a couple times this week. I wanted to do this specifically to focus on this a little bit, and what I did is I created these little ice cubes in our Buffalo ice cube trays with the B'lure product. So we used 2/3 of an ounce of B'lure and to a cup of water, and then because it's an extract, it blows up and turns this whole blue thing. Then I freeze it, and we have ice cubes that are now made of this cool product. Other than that, you're just going to create yourself a sour. I'm going to create a bourbon sour. I'm using Buffalo Trace Bourbon. I'm going to do 2 ounces of bourbon, and I got to figure out how I'm going to measure it right here. So I'm going to do 2 ounces. And this is a special Monday edition show because I just wanted to do this and I needed a place to put it. Boom, I'll throw it on Monday and we'll be good to go. So there's our bourbon. Get the Buffalo Trace. We're not going to need the B'lure to drip because we're going to be putting it in with the ice cubes. Then we're going to do a couple dashes of aromatics. I'm going to use Berg Hauck Aromatics because I think they have a very good dimension to them. Very flavorful. More than just like cinnamon, more than clove. It just kind of has a nice body and flavor to it. Then I'm going to do, boom, an ounce of simple syrup. This is very thick. This is, I guess you could call it a rock candy syrup as well. It's 2-to-1 ratio, so it's 2 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, white granular sugar, to 1 cup of water. And you have a very thick and sweet simple syrup. Boom! Alright, next, we're going to do an ounce of lemon juice, which plays against that sugar and creates, really, inside of your glass, a sour mix, which is exactly what you want for a sour. If you go to a bar, what you're probably going to find is that a bartender will use, depending on the bar, let's proceed with that. A bartender's probably going to have a bottle of sour mix. So if I go and I go to a company event or whatever, and I'm like, I want a whiskey sour. They go, sour mix whiskey, boom, you're done. And it's like JD and high fructose corn syrup. I like to go a little bit more into detail when creating my own, and that makes it more fun to do at home, and it's cheaper. So it seems like the right route to go. Then what I'm going to do is cut the video, run upstairs, and get regular clear ice because I want to shake this with regular ice to chill it. Don't have myself a ice tong. I'm just making one cocktail. If you're at a bar, obviously don't put your fingers on it, but people complain. Whatever. I'm at home. I'm going to do what I want. We'll shake that up right now. So to make a B'lure Bourbon Sour, you do all of the steps up to here are going to be exactly the same. Then you're going to strain it into, I usually use a old-fashioned glass, low-ball glass, something that's probably 11 to 15 ounces, so a double old-fashioned, if you will. And we're not going to add any of our ice just yet. Now, you could probably get away with doing one that has a little bit less of a size to it, like even a 6 ounce. But because I want to bring this in and I want to highlight it, I'm going to top it, and I'm going to get a little aggressive with the topping because you're using these blue ice cubes, and it's going to raise it up and fill it to the brim. So what you're going to have here is just a little bit of blue ice cube on the top. Now, out of the box, out of the gate, leaving it like this, you hand this to somebody. It's cool because it has blue ice cubes. But what you do is you wait a second, or if I have something to stir with, come on, I need a stir. Oh my god, I got all this equipment and I don't have anything to stir. Here we go. Oh, I've been looking for this. Sweet. So, you can give it a little bit of a stir, and as the ice starts to melt, you're going to see a transition from blue and purple streaming off of the ice. And it's going to turn your drink, if you don't spill it all, into a dark raspberry color as you sip it. And that's because as the ice melts, the B'lure dissipates into the drink, and once that begins to occur, you're going to get that citrus attack onto that B'lure, and it's going to cause it to turn from blue to purple and be wicked cool. Otherwise, you have, and it also is going to add some flavor. It's going to add a little bit of the butterfly pea extract, which is kind of a unique, almost like a tea-like flavor, a very floral, heavy flavor, but it's very light within the drink. Now, what is that? First drink of the day. Yeah, you definitely start to get the herbal, like a flower herbal tea. So it's green, heavy, like organic flavor, but it's definitely got more of that like that butterfly pea tea taste, which bluechai.com sells butterfly pea tea, which you can then make tea and use that in your cocktails like we did, and you'll get very much the same effect, but you've got to make the tea. You've got to let it, get all teed up when you throw the water in there. Teed up. And then you can use it to make a cocktail, but it will definitely kind of change how you make your cocktail, because it starts out warm. You got to chill it off and then build it in your cocktail. The butterfly pea within here is basically the ingredients for the B'lure is cane sugar and the butterfly pea and water. That's it. So what that means is when you buy these type of products, these guys included, you need to put them in the refrigerator when you're not using them. Unlike normal bitters, bottle bitters that look very similar in design, bottle size wise, actually, these are probably about the same bottle design here with like the New Orleans coffee bitters. If you notice, they have the same thing, but these don't have to be refrigerated because they're like 44% alcohol, lots of stabilizers, not so much in B'lure, just sugar. So make sure you put that in the refrigerator. If you don't, of course, bacteria will someday eventually form on it, and that won't be friendly, and it will stop reacting in some cases because it's deteriorating and becoming bad. But that, my friends, and as you can see, it continues to turn more purple and bring out some of those flavors as you sit. But you continue to get a very striking oaky bourbon from the Buffalo Trace. Draw it in with a little bit of butterfly pea. Some of the aromatics play in there. The aromatics kind of little bit in the back end to this because there's just a lot of different flavor profiles, especially with the Buffalo Trace coming in. And the sweet and sour offset each other in such a way that it's still a sour drink, but it's not 100% sour, bites your face and twist it all in and make you walk around like you're really angry. You can order these refreshing, nice acidity level, especially if you use fresh ingredients as opposed to just dumping in sour mix and then it's all like you just ruined your drink, and it's drink Buffalo Trace straight if you're going to do that. So I definitely suggest taking the time to make a little bit of simple syrup. You can buy it at awesomedrinks.com. We have stirring simple syrup in stock. And then make yourself a B'lure Bourbon Sour. Add egg white. You're going to get yourself like a slightly different drink, because this drink, the old-fashioned whiskey sour, was probably around 1870, I think was the initial date that it was ever documented. If you add a little orange juice and a little rye instead of the Buffalo Trace, you get yourself a Ward 8. If you decide to go with egg whites and you make the same type of drink with the bourbon, you've got yourself a Boston Sour. So add your B'lure to those. Now you have a B'lure Boston Sour or a B'lure B'lure Ward 8. Just mess around. Or put it in your iced tea and see what happens. It can be pretty cool. There you go. We're done. Check it out. awesomedrinks.com if you want to pick up some of the new B'lure product or any of the other Hibiscus if you want to go the opposite route and have more of a floral rose, like a rose water, but much more intense and very, very bright red. These guys are hugely red. They do not change in color. We're done. That's it. Question of the day. I was going to say what's your favorite color. Monty Python already did that. What's your favorite ice cube design? Big squares like these, huge epic king cube squares. Do you just take them out of whatever you get out of your refrigerator and throw them in your drink and or some other ice machine. My personal favorite, although I don't have it, are those manufactured big ice cube or big machines that produce ice cubes at like hotels, and they're big squares and they're very clear. I haven't been able to get clear, but if you add B'lure, you don't have to worry about making them clear because they're clear. They also, in this case, get a little bit sticky because remember, there's pure cane sugar in there. So we're done. Check out everydaydrinkers.com. We're teaching you how to drink.